Hey there YouTube, Sup Up here to bring you a Napoleon Total War online battle replay. I want to quickly take a look at each player in the game. There is me, Commander Aaron, and Arthur Wellesley on a team, and our opponents are Major Kong, PNA Camper, and Triple Vampire. And this is being fought on the Syrian Ridge map. Also, something I should mention before we start up this fight is that it did not tell me the names of who is playing as each person. But yeah, here we are on the map, and let's just take a quick look at this map. You can see that there is a ridge that runs straight through the center, and this is a very strategic position because it gives you this height advantage. You can see it right there. And it may not look like much from up here, but when you zoom in, you can definitely see the advantage in that. In fact, let's mess with the camera here. Yeah, you can definitely see that's a big advantage. So definitely a very smart terrain feature to capture. So let's take a look at each army here. I am in command of Great Britain in this fight, so the British, and I am deployed all the way on the far left, at least from our team's perspective. Next up, I believe this is Commander Aaron if it goes by the order on the player list in the beginning. I'm not really positive on that though, and in any case, it's either Commander Aaron or Arthur Wellesley. So yeah, this is Prussia, and I believe it's Commander Aaron. And finally, we have France over here, and I believe this is Arthur Wellesley, but I'm not positive on that. Don't quote me on that.
Yes, sir.
So let's take a look at each army here. This is on large funds and large size, so I'm just gonna take a quick look here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of Lightfoot, which is the British Light Infantry. So it's these guys, very cool uniforms, and they have 60 men a unit. Then I have a bunch of different light infantry. I have is it okay? It's not showing the flag for these guys. Bit odd. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 sets of regular British foot right here. Very cool uniforms on these guys, the classic British uniforms here. 6 sets of these guys. Then I have 2 sets of King's German Legion foot. Oop. I actually just moved up my army a little bit. And also the battle has started, so I'm just going to quickly go through this. I again have 2 units of these King's German Legion foot, and finally this unit of foot guards. So let me actually pause this here before we get too ahead of ourselves, because the action does start fast. Even though this battle's really long, it'll probably be split into 2 parts, and I'm fairly confident it'll be split into 2 parts, unless I decide to upload it in one big video, which I don't think I will. Let's take a look at the Prussian army here. So he has Lutzau's Freikorps, Cuirassier, Life Hussars. So 2 units of Cuirassiers, rather, and these guys are the heavy cav of his army here. Then he has 1 unit of these Life Hussars. Pretty cool. They each have the little mustache. It's pretty cool. And 1 unit of Lutzau's Freikorps. I actually have never seen these guys, so that's new. That's very new. And let's take a look at the infantry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait. Okay, so 3 sets of Prussian Fusiliers, rather. I was about to say Fusilier, but I'll just stick to Fusiliers just so no one's confused. So 3 sets of Prussian Fusiliers and 3 sets of Silesian Schutzen. So these guys are the longer range skirmishing component, and then the Prussian Fusiliers, rather. Keeps trying to say Fusilier, not sure why. These guys actually are the light infantry. So, yeah. The Prussian Fusiliers have 60 men a unit, and the Silesian Schutzen have 40 men a unit. Then his line infantry, 1, 2, 3. 3 sets of regular musketeers. These are the Prussian musketeers, carrying the Prussian flag there. Pretty cool flag, I gotta say. I really like the flag of the Prussians. Then 3 sets of foot guards, and these are the elite infantry of Prussia right here. And then his general, Count von Gneisenau. I'm not really sure how to say that, but let's see. I think it's him. Yeah, I think that's him. Pretty sure anyway. And does any of his units have any upgrades? Just his general. His general actually has 1 chevron. That's it. Now the French army on my team. This is actually taking a little while, because I mean, it's a huge fight. Let's take a look at his skirmishing component first. Voltigeur. Alright, so he has 1 unit of Voltigeurs, and I'm assuming that he only brought these guys so they could lay down a stake line if he needed them, because he does have a lot of skirmishing already. I think he just brought these guys to lay down a stake line, because actually he doesn't have much cavalry. Yeah. So let's take a look here. 3 sets of chasseurs, and these are the light infantry of France. You saw them in my last fight. And 1 unit of 6th Regiment d'Infanterie Légère. At least I think that's how you say it. Not positive. These guys are pretty darn epic, and I think you can only get them if you have if you enter a code or something. Not really sure on that. And let's see. He has the 18th Regiment des Infanterie de Ligny, and they are nicknamed the Brave. And that is not a nickname that he gave them himself, because you can't do that on Napoleon Total War. This is actually the name that they come with. They are known as the Brave. It's pretty cool units. They're pretty they're semi-elite. They're pretty darn good, I suppose. And let's see what else. Any more elite infantry? Right over here he has 3 sets of Fusiliers of the Line, and a unit of Swiss Foot right here. Here's some Polish Legion troops. Yep, so 4 sets of Polish Legion right here. You can see they're wearing the yellow and blue. Pretty neat. And ooh, what are these guys? He has his Young Guard right here, and these are very elite. Some of Napoleon's favorites right here. And the Old Guard right over here. And these guys are the elite of the elite in France. These are Napoleon's veterans, trained by Napoleon himself right here. Pretty darn epic. And his cavalry consists of 2 sets of Chevaux Légers Lancers. So both of these guys are Lancer Cav. So, yep, he didn't bring any heavy cav, he brought this Lancer Cav. And finally, a general is just the generic general staff. Oh my gosh, this is taking longer than I expected. Let's look at the opponent across from me really quick. See if we can just do this quickly. 6, 7, I believe 8 sets of Fusiliers of the Line, classic standard line infantry of France. And then he brought a ton of cavalry. Oh wait, he has some more infantry here. 2 sets of chasseurs, the light infantry of France. And that is his whole infantry body. So he did not bring really any elite, he brought the standard. And he brought a ton of cavalry, so he has 1 unit of these Polish Guard Lancers. Very sweet cavalry, they are very good Lancers. Then he brought 2 sets of Carabiners right here. Pretty neat. Then he brought a squadron of Grenadiers à Cheval. And these guys are elite These guys are as elite as they come for the cavalry of France, and they can basically just break through a circle. I mean, it's not circle. What am I saying? A square of infantry if they wanted. And yeah, these guys are awesome. And oop, did I? Nope, I was right. All right. And then he has this unit of dragoons and this unit of Dutch Guard Lancers. See, he has a ton of cavalry, and they're all different. And looks like he has some experience chevrons on his, he has one experience chevron on his carabiners, and one on, oh, okay, so he put one chevron on each of his carabiners, and he put an upgrade on his general, and that is just a generic general staff. Now time for the other French army. 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of chasseurs right here. Then he has a ton of line infantry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 sets of fusiliers of the line. And that is a crap ton of infantry, I'll tell you that. Gosh. Then, alright, so these guys are all different. He has this Polish Guard Lancer unit. You saw him from the other French guy right there. And this Chasseur à Cheval unit. You saw these guys in my last fight. They are mounted gunmen. And finally, his 5E Regiment des Hussards. Pretty interesting. I think they're kind of elite hussars. And a generic general staff unit. And finally, the last player here. 1, 2, one unit of Prussian Fusiliers right here, light infantry, and 2 sets of Silesian Schützen, the skirmishers. They have longer range, but not as many men. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 sets of musketeers right here. And 1 squadron of foot guards. These are the Prussian foot guards right here. Pretty neat. Really like these guys. And he has Gebhard von Blücher. I think that's how you say it. There he is right there. That's pretty easy to distinguish. He's much different than all his staff. Right there. He looks old. And finally, his cavalry component. Cuirassiers, Hussars, Cuirassiers. 4 squadrons of Cuirassiers and 1 squadron of Hussars. Alright, so basically, naming the armies took forever. That's essentially what just happened. Gosh. So if you guys, I'm hoping that you guys probably just skip that. Well, not hoping. I mean, if you want to hear the army setup, sure. But I felt that it was necessary to mention everything, because everything played a big part. And I'll try to take a look from my ally side whenever possible. But yeah, I'm going to focus on my side a lot, because there is a lot of action that happens really fast. And you'll notice my opponents are at a stalemate, and that my allies and other opponents are at a stalemate for quite some time. So first off, I want to mention that this was a very good strategy that my opponent directly across from me did. He rushed up all of his cavalry right up onto this ridge to just take the ridge for himself, while his infantry runs up here as well. Very smart maneuver, because he has a crap ton of cavalry. And I believe... no, he doesn't have any mounted gunman cav, so... or mounted rifle cav, but he's still pretty devastating on a charge, so I need to be careful. I don't know if this was a micro mistake or something, but he dismounted this unit of dragoons. He might have just wanted these guys to like hold the line or something, but he's gonna line up these dragoons off their horses, and these guys, you know, do have a gun when you dismount them here. They're pretty cool looking, I gotta say. So he has those guys holding the line, and I definitely did the same thing that he did. I'm rushing as fast as I can to the hill, but I can't just rush up this one unit of dragoons that I have, because that would just be suicide. That would never work, so I'm going to keep them back, because he has so much cavalry, it's just ridiculous. And what he did is he's gonna, where did he move him actually? He moved him behind his lines over here. And he also has a bunch of line infantry in these woods over here. And I actually just dropped my mouse. Oops. Alright. So at this point his infantry is now on the hill. And when I saw how close he was already to the hill, or rather the ridge, I just kind of decided to forfeit it to him. Because it was kind of a waste of men just to rush for something that he would have had the clear advantage over. He also has these woods clearly fortified, and he is rushing up even more infantry onto this ridge. He already has 2 sets of chasseurs up here, and they are starting to open up on me. And I actually just moved up my Lightfoot. We're going to watch these guys fire. Boom. These guys are actually not in range, unfortunate, but these guys are definitely taking shots. And I actually have not lost a single man in any of my Lightfoot units. Or actually, have I? Yep, but I've only lost 8 men, and he has a lot of chasseurs dead. Not really sure why that is. I guess it's because the British are just superior to the French in quality of skirmishing, I suppose. But one thing that he is making a mistake about, he does not have his chasseurs in light infantry behavior, so they're not spread out. But he does do the intelligent thing. He's going to back up to this ridge. And you're going to see me make a little mistake, but I easily correct it because I knew that I was making the mistake. It's that this ridge is a pain, because I'm going to wheel up my Lightfoot, and you're going to watch this. I think I'm in range now. Nope, not quite. Still have to move up just a tad more. There's my Lightfoot running up. So look at this. All of my bullets are just going right into the ridge. That is such a pain, because, I mean, to be honest, could my men actually... Oh, actually, yeah, that's a really... Yeah, that's a tough shot. You'd have to get a perfect head. Yeah, so basically, all my bullets are going into the ridge, and I quickly notice this. I believe I noticed it in just like 1 more second. And I'm just going to basically do the only thing that I can do. I do a rush. So here I go. I'm going to rush straight for the ridge, because now if his line infantry fires, they'll fire into the ridge, because these guys have even worse position. And I'm still not hitting. I just wheeled up a little bit, and I quickly noticed that, hey, I'm still unable to do this, so I'm going to rush up this ridge. And that's really the only option I had at this point, because I didn't have much choice. If I just stayed here, I was not going to be doing any damage. And let's take a look actually at my allies' side over here really quick. And actually I'm charging up. Let's just take a look here really quick. Basically, the other French opponent here has just decided to sit with his light infantry right up in front. Over there's about to be an engagement, but I want to focus over on my side again really quick. I have, at this point, started the rush with my infantry, and his line infantry has started to fire, all to no avail, though, because they are hitting the ridge and nothing more. Look at that. I'm not losing any men, which is fantastic. Over here, he went for a charge over on my light infantry here, and that's pretty effective, but I don't think he knew that I have these dragoons nearby. I'm going to charge them here in a second. And right now I didn't really notice, because I was more focused in on rushing this ridge. Right now my men are walking, because I'm taking my time getting up the ridge, because your men get tired out fast when you're going up a ridge like that. Here he made a huge mistake, and his Fusiliers are firing right into the back of his own men. Look at that. Here, look at his guys dropping in behind here, and my men are not firing yet. That's how you know that it's not me. Here he did a charge of his Carabiners and his Polish Guard Lancers right into my square. So I formed square at the last second. These guys have 2 chevrons. They're my foot unit, and that is just devastating. Over here, I guess I actually never did respond with my cavalry, because my light infantry was just overwhelming for the cavalry. And at this point, we are now starting the point-blank musket shooting. And I have a flanking force here, and I noticed that there's all these Fusiliers in the woods, so I'm going to pull up, and I'm going to start shooting them down. And I guess my general is under attack somewhere. Oh, here's my general. Actually, Yeah, he is being chased by these Polish guard, wait, actually carabiners. He's being chased by these carabiners here. I think my general actually dies here relatively shortly. Here he charged his cavalry straight through the center. Not the smartest move. He should aim for a better location than right through the center. But not to take anything away from my opponent. Very good player. And I have these guys in the square. And he charged his Fusiliers right into my square in melee, which is not a good idea. Should have shot them while they were in the square. Over here, I'm having fantastic success because my foot units, and actually these are one of my King's German Legion foot and my foot guards. I'm having a great time over here because his men are in too thick of columns and they are not doing too great, while my men are spread out and shooting all of this clump. So that's pretty darn good. So seeing that I'm having success, I turn my King's German Legion foot just for a moment, and I take a volley right in the side of this chasseur unit just to break him. And I also have my other King's German Legion foot shooting over at this Fusilier of the line charging into my square. I also have my my light foot rather, shooting into his cavalry, just to do as much damage as I can because their effectiveness has reached its limit, I suppose. Here I have my British foot infantry about to take a nice little point-blank volley here. And I actually formed these guys into a square just so I would be ready to accept their melee attack, which I knew was coming. And there you go. They're going to rush right into melee with my troops there. And over here was a little bit dangerous. He actually charged his Dutch Guard Lancers right into this huge blob of my foot infantry and his Fusiliers. That was a little bit dangerous. Pretty dangerous, in fact. It definitely was not best of circumstances because that could easily cause a mass break. So what I decided to do is I charged in my King's German Legion foot here into melee style, and I'm going to surround his Dutch Guard Lancers. Unfortunately, my foot guard unit is now left alone, and they are pretty badly wounded because although his men are in such columns, he did still have the number advantage. And look at this. Look at all these dead Frenchmen. Look at that. You can definitely see his French units are definitely depleted over on his left, opposite my right. And over here, it's a pretty close fight, just because my men's morale is definitely iffy at this point. But over here, I decided to finally launch my Dragoons, and I'm going to run right into these chasseurs, I believe. Did that, or actually, am I going to? Yeah, so I'm going to chase down these chasseurs that were trying to shoot my men while I was in melee. Definitely a dangerous situation, so I'm going to charge them down over here. Look at all these guys go flying. Ooh, brutal. Look at those guys. Those guys are just off the impact. That's pretty nice. Let's see. Yeah, you can just see there's a huge melee going on here between the British and the French. And I have actually won the melee fight over here. But now I need to go and assist my foot guards, who are very depleted. They only have 25 men left in their unit now, and they're in a bad position right now. So yeah, basically what happens is my Prussian ally sends his Lutzau's Freikorps and his Cuirassier right into this enemy Fusilier unit. That's going to really cause a disruption. Also here, I got my Dragoons mixed up with the enemy general staff right here. So my Dragoons are going to hastily win that fight. Yeah, he's actually going to retreat out his general, so he does not die, but that's definitely a huge morale blow. And yeah, that's basically going to be the end of my French opponent. And now we're going to take a look at my allies, because now all I am going to do, I'm going to kind of rest up my men a little bit, and then I'm going to make an attempt on this Frenchman's right flank. Let's take a look at my allies here. First off, a little bit of lag there. Anyway, this Frenchman opponent decided to charge his chasseurs à cheval right up in front of my Prussian allies' army, and all my Prussian ally is going to do is he's going to fix his bayonets with his foot guards and going to charge right into this chasseur unit. and retreat back his Silesian Schutzen and other skirmishers. And I'm not really sure what this French opponent was thinking, but yeah. Over here, a skirmishing fight has ensued. It's kind of even, but not really sure what he's doing here with this Silesian Schutzen. Looks like he's just rushing them forward. Not really sure why. Definitely should have taken advantage of their increased range. But yeah, he has his all his skirmishers over in this fight. And here, the Prussian opponent made a very smart maneuver, and he charged his cavalry right into this expensive 6th Regiment de Infanterie Légère, and then he's going to retreat out of there, because now the light infantry got, or actually the, light infantry I suppose, got closer to the French line, and the French line actually formed into square here. So pretty even fight there. Over here, the skirmishing fight is still ensuing as well. These chasseurs are trading shots over with these Prussian fusiliers. And let's go check out what's happening over with the French and Prussians. Appears as if these chasseurs are taking shots at my Prussian allies, Prussian fusiliers. And that's not going to work because my Prussian ally is going to charge in his light hussars right into the enemy light infantry there, and that's going to rout him. And I don't really know what our opponents were really thinking with some of these moves, because they could have easily made better use of their units in many cases. So yeah, that's basically what's happening. Let's go take a look at my remaining troops, because now I have them in a little better state. Here is my foot guard unit, and they actually had 3 chevrons just from all the fighting they were doing. And yeah, these guys are actually fresh, so they really didn't take long to increase their stamina. That's really good. I also still have this unit of light foot at half strength, so they're pretty good. And I actually do have quite a bit of light infantry left. Let's see. I have about 100, nah, not 100, but about 80 light foot put together left. And then I have a decent amount of infantry, line infantry anyway. I have this King's German Legion foot with 60 men left. I have this regular foot with 31. This foot with 50. And then King's German Legion with 26. So I actually have a decent number. And also at this point, a huge fight is about to start over here, right where I'm about to collapse on his right flank. And over here, he has pushed up his fusiliers of the line in an attempt to break my Prussian allies' light infantry. Not the best idea though, because really, if you're going to fight light infantry, you should use cavalry or other light infantry. But I suppose my French opponent was over here was out of expendable skirmishers, so yeah, he didn't really have much left in ways of doing that. But he is starting to have a little bit of advantage on my Prussian allies' right flank, so that's a little bit dangerous. But over here, there's a huge fight that's about to ensue, and you can see that my Prussian ally is ready for it. Here's his foot guard unit, and they have 57 left. Then he has another foot guard with 66, musketeers, and another foot guard that's at full strength. So he has his elites over here, and that's going to definitely be a huge pain for the French. Also, I am moving in over on his flank, so that's really bad for him. And at this point, I am lining up my British infantry, although I don't think I get any real shots off, which is unfortunate. Let's see, do I get any shots off? I get a couple, I think. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think I actually do. Yeah, what actually the problem was, I wasn't quite sure how to talk, because obviously I'm new at this. I pressed T, which in Rome Total War is for talking, and basically what happened was T is like the thing for turning off fire at will on and off, and that's the hotkey for turning it on and off, so that was the problem. Over here, I threw my dragoons over in the direction of his infantry to form them to make them form square, but yeah. That was basically what just happened there. But seeing that was never going to work, I'm going to charge my dragoons over by general, and his general staff's down to 9 men. This is actually from my French opponent, so yeah, I'm just kind of scaring him away. I'm not sure if an ally's general really has much morale difference for you, but it might. And yeah, there you just saw he actually inspired some of his Fusiliers. Maybe this actually is the, this Frenchman's, general. I don't really know. But in any case, I have figured out the problem why I wasn't shooting, and I am going to just move up my chasseurs once again. But this is where the huge fight begins between his foot guards and musketeers. At least my Prussian allies' foot guards and musketeers, and France's Fusiliers of the line. And this is the perfect opportunity that I've been waiting for. He now has no choice. He has to commit to this. And this is a choke point maneuver that is just going to get them completely destroyed. He is stuck in this opening with me coming up to his rear over here, and my Prussian ally in front of him. So he's in a complete chokehold now. There's not much he can do about it. So all he decides to do is rush his Fusiliers in melee style. Not the best idea because France actually does not have the best melee. Let's take a look at my French ally here. The huge fight over here has begun as well. He threw in his cavalry over at the enemy cavalry, but Prussia's cavalry is going to easily win this because they have the numbers and the superior quality. Because my French ally only has this Lancer unit in the fight, which is good when they first charge, but after that it all goes downhill. Also, you can see that my ally didn't really do too good of a job with putting his men separated, so his Polish Legion here is going to shoot a couple of his Swiss foot in the back, so that's a little bit of a shame, but I'm not going to, you know, complain about my allies because they did win, and I'm still very new at this game. So basically, my French ally here is forming his men into squares, and I'm not really sure what the Prussian opponent was thinking, but he's going to charge his Cuirassier right into the square. At least I don't think he. I'm hoping he didn't mean to, because that's just kind of sad, really, if he meant to do that. But yeah, he decides to send this unit of Cuirassiers over to the enemy Polish and Swiss Legion, and these guys actually have too little men to form squares, so that's why they did not. But yeah, over here, my French ally has his Fusiliers of the line shooting in on the Prussians. And over here in the choke point, we have successfully killed off the French. And what basically happened, I just rushed into a huge, melee style fight, and I just surrounded him. My Prussian ally also surrounded them with me, and that is just where the fight went completely wrong for the French over there. So now the only opponent left is this Prussian opponent, and his general is just getting smoked by, I mean, look at these Polish Legion troops are shooting right at his general, and just now I think the Prussian opponent realized it. He's going to charge with his general right into the Polish Legion, and I think at this point the Prussian player is basically just admitting defeat and just charging his men right at the enemy, because you can see the Prussian opponent doesn't really have much left, and they are all starting to break. Here is his final unit of musketeers, and I'll put this in fast forward so this doesn't take forever. Yeah, this is a very fun battle. It's very rare that I ever play 3v3s, but I actually really enjoy doing that on Napoleon because I love huge stretched out battles. It's really, really cool. I really like that. And this is actually my first 3v3 battle that I've ever had on any Total War game. I do 2v2 a lot, but never this size of a fight. So yeah, let's take a look at the deployed units and stuff. Altogether, we deployed around 3,000 men, and our opponents deployed altogether about 3,000 men as well. So we were pretty even in the amount of men deployed. But obviously they took plenty more losses, and we obviously got more enemies killed on them. I'm not going to go through all of it because that would just be a little bit ridiculous. But yeah, here are the unit statistics if you guys are interested. My Dragoons actually gained 2 chevrons off that, because yeah, it doesn't lead into another fight like it does on Shogun 2. Still pretty neat though, I gotta say. My foot guard started with 2 and went to 3. And yeah, so that's about it. Also, I don't think I mentioned, but my general in this fight was Major General Picton. So I actually brought a historical general, and yeah, pretty neat. Gotta say, I absolutely love this game. And when you see me put out videos on this game, it'll most likely be either like a 2v2 or a 3v3, because I just find those more fun because it's long, stretched out battles, and I really like that. So anyway, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this huge fight, and I'll be back to you guys with more. See ya.